Sadnam, it's Guru Datta and Guru Fatekar with the recipe of the month for October. And we are continuing our yogic basics recipes this month. In the past few months, we've done Yogi Tea and golden milk and khichdi, which is mung beans and rice. And we're continuing that with, we have ghee, which is clarified butter, and paneer, which is, it's called farmer's cheese, but it's a really easily assimilable protein source. When you you split milk to get these two ingredients. You get the paneer, which is the cheese, and then you also, when it splits into whey, which is a very high protein, very nutritionally active drink that you can use. It's in Greek medicine, it's sometimes called healing drink. So it's very good for you. We took the ghee recipe from A Taste of India. This is the ebook version. Obviously we have it in print also. And then we have Foods for Health and Healing also has the ghee recipe, a slight variation on it, and the paneer recipe as well, and talks about the benefits. But ghee is the star of this show, as far as I'm concerned. It has so many healthy properties, and I did a little research. One of the best things about doing these videos for you is that I get to find out more about ingredients and things that I knew were good, but didn't know just how good. I wanted to highlight a few of the benefits of ghee. One thing that we have known, and I've mentioned in the past, is that even people who are allergic to dairy can often eat ghee without any adverse effects because the milk solids are taken out and the impurities. So, excuse me. That's a very big benefit for people who would like to use ghee. Try it and see for yourself. Ghee is rich in vitamin A and vitamin E, and it's also it's nutritionally very similar to coconut oil in that it's rich in what's called medium chain fatty acids, which are absorbed directly into the liver and burnt as energy. So it's very good for athletes and anyone who would like a really easily assimilable form of energy. It helps your digestive tract. It builds your immune system. It's anti-inflammatory and anti-cancerous. And the last thing I wanted to emphasize in Ayurvedic cooking is that when you cook herbs in ghee, the herbs then go directly to where they need to go in the body. So the medicinal properties of the herbs and spices can be absorbed and transported to targeted areas of the body with ghee. So that's why when we do, for example, when we do the khichdi, when we make the masala, we put in the onions, ginger, garlic, and the spices, cook it directly in the ghee until it's all cooked together, and then you begin to add the vegetables. So again, ghee is really a foundational ingredient in yogic cooking, as is paneer, very assimilable, and whey it's just a great drink to use for your health. I've heard that whey is especially good for children if you want to give it to them, to just give them a healthy overall boost to their system. So we're going to go now to the next part of the video where we show you how to do these two things. So please, I encourage you to give it a try. It's not as hard as some people may think. I know before I did this video, I thought paneer was a lot more complicated, but it's pretty easy actually. So give it a try. Please email us or comment on our Facebook page if you try it and like it, or whatever your response is to this. And thank you very much. Satnam.
Satnam, this is Guru Fatekar at the KRI Kitchen with your recipe of the month for October. We've gone through a number of basic recipes: Yogi Tea, Solstice hot sauce, golden milk. These are things that come up in the yogic cooking or Ayurvedic cooking that Yogi Bhajan taught us. This month we wanted to show you two things that are mentioned a lot and you might not know how to make, and that is ghee, which you cannot buy, but it's really nice to make yourself, and also split milk from which you get paneer. So you'll see that I have in a nice heavy bottom copper pot. This is 4 pounds of ghee, and you'll see it's about sitting halfway into the pot. It's a good size for that. You need room for the ghee to cook, so you don't want a pot where the butter is right up to the top. You need about half much more room when it cooks. I'm going to put it on a medium-high heat to melt the butter down. And once it's melted down, just check your heat and let the ghee and butter be cooking on a medium rolling boil, not too hot. You may have to cover it. I sometimes have to cover it partially with a lid if it sputters. And of course, the best thing, if possible, is to get organic butter. It makes really delicious ghee. And so, as I say, this is 4 pounds. You can make as much as you want. I would say if you're making a smaller amount, use a pound or a pound and a half, and that will give you a nice amount. It keeps really well. I usually put the ghee in a number of small Pyrex dishes and store them so I can have one out on the counter. It doesn't need to be refrigerated, which is a really good aspect of having ghee around. You can keep it in the fridge if you want. So I'm going to show you, this is just starting off melting the butter, and then the next steps I'll show you what it looks like when it's melted and cooking down, and then when it's done. So it's been about 10 minutes that the butter has been melting down, and you can see it's a nice boil going on here, and there's a lot of foam on the top. You really don't have to do anything. That will all cook down. But one thing you do need to do is to stand by. Don't go too far away. It can burn really easily. You just want to make sure it's on this medium-high heat. And so you can see actually now, see the bubbles are less, and the butter is showing through. So these bubbles will all go away, and the butter will start getting clear, and all the milk solids start falling to the bottom of the pot. That's why it's good to have this heavy bottomed pot. So here is the ghee that's almost ready. It's been about a half an hour for the 4 pounds of butter. And you can see that the butter has gotten quite clear, and that the solids are falling down to the bottom of the pot. I hope you can see that. And there's very little foam left on the top. So I'm going to watch it very carefully, and it'll probably be about another 5 minutes and it'll be done, and I'll show you that part too. So the ghee is done now. If you can see in the pot, the liquid is pretty well all clear, and all the sediment has fallen to the bottom. It's kind of stuck to the bottom but not burnt on. So you can strain it through a cheesecloth, or I have a really fine little tea strainer with very, very fine mesh. That works as well. So I'm going to just scoop out carefully with a ladle into a Pyrex bowl. Just be careful if you're doing this when it's really hot. And you can see how beautiful golden color it is. You want to be careful when you are getting down to the bottom of the liquid ghee. The sediment on the bottom is, as I said, sort of sticking to the bottom. So don't disturb that when you're scooping it out down there. And it should make close to 4 cups of ghee. And there you have it. Enjoy. So here is 2 quarts, or a little bit less than 2 liters of whole milk. I've had it heating up. It just came to the boil, as you can see. Turned off the heat. This is the juice of 2 lemons. Gonna pour it in there, and it will split the milk, which means it sours the milk. There, I got it going. You can see how now the curds, which is the harder part of the milk, and the whey, which is the yellower part of the milk is splitting. It takes a few moments for it to actually split all the way. I've used whole organic milk. The next step is to strain the solid part, which are the curds, away from the whey. And I'm going to use a Pyrex bowl so it's good with the heat. Here's the cheesecloth. Put it on top, getting it ready to pour in. Make sure you're careful because it's very hot. You can see how it's split. And I'm going to gather up the corners of the cheesecloth. Let it drip in the bowl a bit. I take a rubber band. You could also use string. To gather up the edges. And then it's going to take a little while for all the liquid to drip all the way through the cheesecloth. So I've kind of devised a little thing that works in my kitchen, which is using this rubber band and then just a clip. And I just clip it onto my range hood over the bowl, a little tray, so it doesn't make a mess. Make sure it's secure. And then just let it drip through. It might take like a half an hour or 45 minutes. It'll cool down. As it gets cooler, you can squeeze the bag and get the rest of the whey out of it. And then when it's done, you take it out of the cheesecloth and put it in a glass container and refrigerate it. That's your paneer. This is your whey. The whey can be used in cooking and in drinks like protein drinks. It's very strengthening food, and the paneer has a lot of protein. So I hope you can try this out sometime. It's kind of fun to do.